नमस्कार दोस्तों, एक बार फिर से आप सभी का हमारे शो कॉनिक्सियो कॉर्पोरेट इनसाइट्स में आपका स्वागत है। इस शो के माध्यम से हम आपको अलग-अलग सेक्टर की कंपनीज तथा उनके स्पेशल इवेंट्स के बारे में अवगत कराते हैं। आज हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं मोरेपन लैबोरेटरीज के Q1 FY21 के रिजल्ट्स। इसी के लिए हमारे साथ उपस्थित हैं मोरेपन लैबोरेटरीज के CMD मिस्टर सुशील सूरी, CFO मिस्टर अजय शर्मा तथा हमारे साथ अवेलेबल हैं मार्केट की जानी-मानी हस्ती, प्रॉफिट मार्ट के फाउंडर मिस्टर अविनाश गोराशंकर।
Murashanga.
आप हमारे स्वागत शो में स्वागत है। सर, मैं मिस्टर सूरी से रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा, कैन यू गिव अस सम ब्रीफ अबाउट द रिजल्ट?
Yes, sure. So this quarter we had wonderful results, and if we can look at the highlights. So if you look at the highlights of the company and highlights of the quarter, the net revenue certainly has gone up very high. It has gone up by 27% from 203 crores to 258 crores, and net profit has also gone up, which is almost 1.5 times, some 7 crore to 19 crores. And of course, the EBITDA was very good, and from 19 crore to 27 crore, cash profit is also up by 44%. And all thanks to the API sales, which was very good. The whole quarter we had, I'd say, complete marked hard ki how to supply all the APIs. Order book was very high. We had at peak we had 200 crores of orders pending. So we have grown by 44% in the API. Export was primarily 47% up, and domestic also has shown very good 36%. And of course, few products have grown very high. Rosuvastatin, loratadine, they have shown good results. Diagnostics also had been doing very well because of this COVID pressure. BP monitors have grown very well. People have been sitting home and everybody wants to monitor BP. Oximeters have done well in the current quarter. OTC business has, of course, almost 50% growth rate, again, primarily due to the COVID range. And net, all said and done, the net profit has gone up to 19 crore from 766 crore, 7.66 crore last year. So, taking all this in the background, while we were working and there was a pressure, and we could see we have a lot of capacity restrictions. So, board has approved an expansion plan of 178 crores, and we'll come to it in the coming slides. Can we go to the next slide, please? If you look at the segment-wise growth, we already talked the numbers. API, if you look at the table on the bottom right side, API has grown 44%, diagnostic has grown 16%, OTC has grown 53%. Finished dosages have not been able to do well, so rather there's a decline. Because of the total lockdown, markets were closed, doctors were closed, hospitals are closed, so people have not been able to approach the doctors. We understand that pharmacies were open, but many people couldn't approach with prescription. So all the pharmacies and chemists, they were selling more of essentials, which were more of, I would say, nutraceuticals or more of sanitizers and other essentials. Didn't do well, but we recovered whatever sale we lost in the finished dosage. We lost around 10 crores. We added 7 crores in the OTC by way of the COVID range, which will come in the next few slides. Diagnostics has had little pressure, but still has been able to grow. So I would say there's an overall growth, and here as a whole, and company as a whole, 27% growth has come up, which seemingly very good. This is against the overall drop in the GDP, overall drop in the economy by 20 to 30%. Some sectors have grown, has decreased, I would say gone down by even up to 50%. But thankfully, pharma sector was not so affected, and we are doing pretty good. So now we can see segment-wise growth in by division. The next slide, please. Yeah, as I told that API was a major thing. So API has grown very well. So pure APIs have grown 43%, intermediates have grown 91%, and new molecules have also grown 21%. So all around things have been growing. Domestic market also, export also. Primarily our export is only API. So exports have grown 47%. There was some lag of the previous quarter also. Another, I would say, 5 to 6 crore we lost in the March quarter because of logistics, because of custom duties and all those things. But now everything is open. So we are pretty comfortable in the API now. And if we look at the next slide, you'll see that. Can you see the next? Yeah. So Asian market has been responding very well, which is including China, Japan, even Korea, Taiwan, Philippines, Cambodia. All markets have done very well. This is excluding India. Of course, India has also grown very well. Europe has almost more than doubled, 127% growth in the Europe market. And US couldn't pick well because of the lockdown. They were not able to order too many things, and there were a lot of flight issues for US market. So other markets, which include North America and Eastern European market, they have also grown. So this shows that it is not a growth of one country, one product. Everywhere the market have been showing very well, and it is in spite of lot of issues regarding the supplies, regarding flights, regarding transportation, and whether factory is working, not working, transportation issues. So our team has really worked very hard in these 3 4 months, and I would really say that we have been able to beat Corona to that extent. That good or bad, we'll keep on working, and we have given special rewards and special bonuses to the people who have been working hard. And thanks to the growth which we have got, so the board has approved expansion plan of 178 crore, which you will see in the next slide perhaps. So can you see the next slide? Yeah. Here you should see that we already have a big parcel of land around 60 acres, and we have 10 production blocks. So we have a land parcel in the front of the factory and behind the factory also. So we have a 3 ton capacity, 3 metric tons of capacities of APIs presently, with a mix of around 20 products. So which certainly out of the popular product what we are doing, around 70 to 80% capacity is already occupied, and we may sometime it is goes to up to 90% also. For loratadine we are already at 90%, but we keep on adding small little bit of capacities. So we want to expand the capacities from 3 tons to 5 tons. So we are adding 2 tons more, and we have a strong pipeline of around 20 products and around 20 existing products. So increasing capacity of existing products as well as new products, everything is adding up now. And government had a special scheme that if we file all these papers by certain date, they will approve the product, they will approve the plan before 30th September. Now, thankfully, we have done it, and we have got a single window system. And now, as in yesterday, it was placed before the environment committee also. So now things are looking much better. Maybe another 2 to 3 months, we'll get full sanction. And once we have the full sanction, we'll start the construction. So there are around 40 crores of land and building, primarily the building, around 57, 58 crores is. And now coming to the next division, if you look at the next slide, the devices, as I shared, devices also have been doing very good. So we have blood pressure monitors have grown 57%. Non-contact thermometers, which we had launched last quarter, because of the COVID, everybody was looking for non-contact thermometers. So our thermometer sales have grown almost 20 times. So from 50-60 lakh, this is around 11 crores. So BP monitors, of course, I told. Oximeters we launched. We were doing production, but it was not very much in demand. Now everybody wants oximeters. So glucometers are selling in routine. There's not big growth, but around 15% of the total growth. So we have an installed base of around 40 lakh glucometers, and around 450 million glucometer strips have been sold, which is again very good looking at the per capita consumption of per meter. Per meter, almost 100 strips are sold every year. But overall, diagnostic have been doing good. Now, this is a new product we have launched in diagnostic, oxygen concentrator. And in case of COVID patients, sometimes there is a breathlessness and people are not able to breathe well at home. So this is a domestic model, which is like an 8 kg model, which people can use at home. It's just simple plug and play model, and it starts giving oxygen with a simple face mask, or you can have a white tube on the nose and it starts giving oxygen. So then there is a higher model also, which is 12 kg, which is for the hospitals. So we have launched this product basically not only for COVID, but primarily it is an entry into the or I would say respiratory sector. So once we have this product, tomorrow we may have more products. So any product, as a Morpen, as our strategy, we are more of a home diagnostics. So we don't want to get into the hospital segment. But this product is, I would say, a border case. People never used it at home. But now people are becoming more and more aware. So if you can buy a treadmill for a house for 2 lakh rupees, having an oxygen concentrator for 30,000, 40,000 is no big deal. So people are now, I would say, buying it for their parents, and some people are buying it for their families as a whole. So this thing is going big. Next slide, please. Yes, OTC, like I told, that OTC business had been doing very good, and there's not much pressure of sale from our lead brands like Banal and Lemonade. But as you would see in the bottom right hand corner table, COVID products have done very well. Around 13 crores worth of COVID products we have sold. We have launched around 23 products. If you look at the next page, so we have launched hand sanitizers, hand rubs, gloves, face masks, shields, then multivitamin, Chyawanprash, vitamin C candies, Banol disinfectant liquid, Banol soap also. A Banol soap I got yesterday a sample with me. So this is a Banol soap, if you can see. So basically, everybody is asking for essential items, and Dr. Morpen was rightly placed to deliver the right products in the market. So we have been able to do. And now this quarter, we have launched some beauty products also, which are only available for online. People are sitting home and they can take good care of their skin. It is good for dehydration, for glow, and these are not chemical. These are all natural marine collagen which we are supplying, and in nice chocolate flavors. So basically, the whole idea is that it's a good opportunity for Dr. Morpen brand to revive while people are sitting home. And Dr. Morpen has always been saying, health in your hands. So while you're sitting home, your health in your hands. So you take care of your health. That is what we have been always advocating. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. I think this is what all financial analysts would prefer more for Avinash. This slide is there. EBITDA has scaled up 42%, cash profit has shared 44%, net profit is up almost 155%, and profit after tax is also almost same 153. And looking all the micro calculations, the EPS has also jumped almost 153%. And this only shows that for a debt-free company which had no practical zero interest costs, so whatever EBITDA is coming up, that is the profit. So except for depreciation, which again we don't have a big depreciation. As a company, we hadn't done any major expansions in last few years, and there was not much capex. So there is not depreciation weight is not adding up. So is the interest. So even if we have a EBITDA of 11-12%, so 7-8% is coming directly to the bottom line. And in the coming quarters, as in and if the top line trend continues, so we are hopeful that the net profit trend would also continue in the same range. Let's see what's next. Yeah, I think this is a table of performances. So net revenue up, interest is down, cash surplus is up. I think we have discussed that. It's standalone and there is a consolidated. So I will keep it simple. I think it's better that Avinash and Akhilesh have questions we can answer.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for update. First of all, your total top line has grown by almost 25%, and PAT margin just doubled from, 7.44 to it's just almost triple, and margins from 3.8% to 7.4%. Sir, what are the primary reasons for top line growth? Like you have a API business which is almost 65% of your total sales, which is two-thirds. So probably it may be because of API. And another is what are the reason for the margin improvement? Like it is a fixed cost and operating leverage, or the optimum utilization or a better utilization is the reason for the margin utilization.
I would say that the reason for increase certainly is very clear that whatever we have been doing in the past, we have been doing only same thing. We have not added new products primarily. But main reason is that our top line has gone up and EBITDA has gone up. Now top line gone up is only demand and supply. If our demand has gone up, supply has gone up, and EBITDA has gone up because of the profit margin. So the rates, because of the tight market conditions, So there was not availability in the market. There was short availability in the market, and everybody has gone up with the increase in prices. So we have also
So the
improved prices.
better price realization could be a reason.
Yeah, better price realization, and I would say there is some contribution coming from the dollar also. So dollar also favored, and we had a better realization in terms of dollars. And because of the extreme closure of many factories, so availability was a big issue. Availability was an issue for us also for raw materials, and for the customer also getting this thing. So better realization, and of course in terms of quantity also we have gone up. And second thing, like you said, that because of the lockdown, there were many expenses which were saved. For example, sales and marketing, travel, and there were minimal staff expenses. Of course, we had to spend a lot of money on keeping people in the hotels, and there were lockdown issues, and we had to spend double on transportation. But those are compensated because marketing was low, travel was low, and there was no extraordinary expenses. For example, corporate office was closed; it is still only 50% open. So they have been saving there, and I won't say our saving. Nobody in the world has spent those expenses, so we have saved there. And then coming to the last point, which is that the net profit and whether it is just a pure maths. The fact is that if in case there is a higher top line with better EBITDA, so it's just 7, 8, 10 crore it has added. From 7 crore to 19 crore is just 12 crore, which is clearly visible. Some is because of the top line, some is because of the EBITDA.
Okay. So you also mentioned you added couple of few good products, must be some of the value added products. And going forward, can we expect in next 3 years your net margin could be from 7% to 10%? Any possibility?
I would say that that is the endeavor. That is what we are working for. And in the past, we have done a lot of investments on the products and the R&D. We have done a lot of investments in developing new processes or anything. So in the next coming, I would say 2 to 3 years time, the profit margin certainly will go up. And I don't know if it will go to 10% or 11% or 8%, but certainly it is on the upside.
And sir,
So
COVID has affected all the industries, and some of them are very badly, some of them are still okay. So, what is the impact of COVID on your production? What was the utilization level you were working in the previous quarter? And the coming forward, what could be better out of it?
I would say COVID has affected everybody, so we have no complaints. And certainly March quarter was little affected because it was only 1 week, but April was worse because of heavy lockdown. But thankfully, pharma being an essential category, the government favored that okay, you should open up the factories. But we had all the little regulatory challenges which everybody has gone through. There was a transportation issue. There was issue of logistics, getting material from outside, and movement of staff issues. So we had all the issues. But in spite of that, our like I said, my team had been very good and everybody supported. We had a special task force working on it. So we have been able to do 70 to 80% production in the last quarter. But now we have reached up to 90% production. Almost everybody is reporting to duties in the factories, except for few senior guys which are still allowed to work from home. But Delhi office, we are still operating at almost 50% capacity. We just started last month. So slowly we will start Delhi also because Delhi cases are a little higher. So, but as and when the cases go down, so Delhi office also will say it is better. But coming specifically to the business, certainly we were affected by the corona all side because of the movement. But thankfully, pharma sector hasn't been affected, and I don't see any big challenge in the coming time because we have challenges in the OTC and formulation business. So OTC, we have added some COVID range, which is helping us. But on the API side, diagnostic side, we are doing very good. And on the formulation side also, I'm sure things will come up. So now doctors have started sitting. Of course, doctors have to physically check and examine people, so they are a little worried. But someday in life, it will become normal. So even if you have a tele consultancy, even if you have a video calls with the doctor, but you'll have to buy medicines. The doctor can't you feed from the screen.
Okay. And also, sir, you have mentioned about 178 crore capex plans. This 170 crore is entirely for the API segment, or this also includes the formulation and OTC or diagnostics also?
This is purely for the API and only on the API account, which is also the APIs which we are already producing. We are increasing capacities, and some APIs which are in pipeline, which for which we don't have facilities, and there have been some customer demands for certain products which we have already US FDA customer want capacity expansions, so we have limited expansions. So because of the strict regulations, so we were not able to expand. Now government has given a small window that they want to encourage capacity of API. So they are encouraging that, okay, if you launch it immediately, we will approve it immediately. So we already got a single window clearance, so which is very good. And government wants that you should set up the facilities ASAP.
And which is the best margin segment for you?
Undoubtedly API.
Undoubtedly.
Okay. In fact, Mr. Suri, I also have one question, if you can permit me. We have spoken a lot about the API segment, and that has grown remarkably well for you, almost 43% in the Q1 of FY21. Now, can you tell me what is the kind of outlook you can share, for this entire API sector over the next 12 months and over the next 2 years? Because, government has also encouraged Make in India policy, Atmanirbhar Bharat. So on this fact, how does Morepron, actually plan to strategize this opportunity within the API space? So if you can share your thoughts.
I would say that there are two pronged strategy. One, of course, is that what we are already doing. We do it right, we do it more. So that's where this expansion plan coming in. That in the existing land parcel, in the existing product basket, and with the existing R&D pipeline, we do that. So that is what we are doing, and which is, I would say, repeating and doing and expanding what we are doing. Second is doing the backward integration, which is more of a, I would say, replacement of China and making it as a API hub for India or making it as a pharma hub for India. For that, we need little more capex and maybe little more space and blessings from the government to get environmental clearance, because these intermediates and chemical plants sometimes they have higher this water requirement. So as of today, NGT is monitoring everything. So if we get some clearance in the API park, which may have a central treatment plant or which may have other facilities, so it may be possible. But at a macro level, if we see that end game is that we have to do more and more production in India and be self-dependent and self-reliant.
Okay.
So we have a lot of intermediates which are coming from China. Even if we start producing our own intermediates, just our own intermediates, the intermediate which we use and our other companies like our use, so that itself will be a huge saving of forex from India. And maybe in the coming time, more and more companies will go for backward integration.
Okay.
And today, everybody was going to China for the key starting raw material, KSM, and everybody was producing API. Now, whatever people are coming to us, we are saying, okay, we have enough API, let's go backward. Let's put up a plant for intermediates.
Okay.
So that's
Mr. Suri, one thing which I wanted to get a little more clarity is that, you have said that you all have planned a mega capex of 178 crores. Now, will this include some new API kind of products, or will it be the existing product range? If you can share some, inputs here and, make it little clear to us.
I would say that as we are focusing on two categories. We have anti-diabetic and cardiac range. Primarily, we're focusing on the diabetic range. We have a lot of gliflozin and gliptins, which is the new category of diabetic drugs. And in the cardiac also, we have few products. But going forward, we are going to expand in the neuropsychiatric sector. And plus, we are adding a lot of products from the anti-cancer and antiviral. So antiviral earlier we were not doing. Now because of this COVID thing, and looking at people are saying that corona is only one of the virals which you could see. There may be another 100 virals floating around. So our R&D department has suggested that for the coming time, we should keep antivirals also in our bouquet, looking at the rising infections. So antivirals and anti-cancer. Within anti-cancer also there are two type of categories. One is cytotoxic, which need separate manufacturing facilities, and there's another cytogenic where we don't need separate facilities. So anti-cancer, antiviral, and neuropsychiatric. These are three categories which we are adding. And in every category, 3-4 products each. Antiviral, there are 6 products. So going forward, basically our always have been focus had been on lifestyle products. So cardiac, gastric, neuropsychiatric, depression, these are lifestyle products. We are not into antibiotics and routine painkillers and all those things. But for the first time, we are adding into this antiviral and anti-cancer sector, which are again more of a, I would say, large consumption items, high-end items.
Okay. Mr. Suri, on the diagnostic and on the OTC business, can you share us what is your thought process over the next 2 years? Because this is largely a B2C business, according to me. And please correct me if I'm wrong. But then, what kind of outlook and growth you expect for these two sectors, both for the diagnostic and the OTC kind of product segment?
I would say technically both are same. Diagnostics and we are both OTC, but diagnostic is more, I would say, important for India because the starting point is zero. We had been, we are the pioneers in diagnostics in India, and we started it back in 2002, 2003, when there was no manufacturer and everybody was using those, I would say, smuggled or illegal import devices, whether BP monitors or thermometers and everything. So the misery is that in a large country like India, where we are boast of being a world power and this that, we can't even manufacture a simple thermometer, which is just for 40 rupees. So our capacities and our skills are very much lacking. So this is a sector which needs lot of investments and attention, and thankfully government has come, I'd say, alive to it. So government has been focusing only on those hospital products like stand, where hospital guys have been charging very high. But the basic, even thermometer, BP monitor, even a small stethoscope manufacturing is very difficult in India. So we have identified this sector that okay, at least in a simple sector wherein manufacturing can be done in-house, we should focus on it. And I'm seeing a lot of growth in this sector in the coming 5 to 10 years time. So we have already set up factories for this. We are already producing BP monitor, glucose monitor, stethoscopes, oximeters in India. We have facilities for injection molding machines and everything. Now going forward, maybe we have to go backward integration here also. As on today, everything is coming again from China. The basic PCB is again being imported. So at some stage, basically that way we are in similar situation like all our TV manufacturers and others. Everybody is getting the basic kit from abroad. So maybe we have less dependence on China. We are depending more on Korea, maybe on Taiwan. But ultimately, those things will also come to India. So we are seeing a lot of scope here. Today we are talking simple machines, BP, glucose. Then tomorrow you have wearables, and your watch is monitoring your BP, or maybe watch is monitoring your even oxygen concentration. So everything is going to be digital, and with digital health coming in, and insurance companies also want to track your health. Doctors also want to track your health. More importantly, as younger generation, everybody wants to be on the tips. Everybody wants to be on the toes, and everybody wants wearable health. So that's what is coming up. OTC sector is, I think, already established in India, and Dr. Morpen is a well-established player. And whether it is COVID or no COVID, people want to shop on their own. They want to go online. They want to check up the products, and we are rightly placed, perfectly placed.
We are hearing that now within the Bernol category, I think you have launched a new kind of upgrade in terms of a Bernol soap. So could you share us some data on that also?
Basically, Bernol has one brand which is very strongly associated with the anti-infectants and because anti-infective capabilities because of the burn. So we were not able to find that how this brand would grow, but once we launched the anti-infective liquid for that, which is like Dettol liquid. So during the COVID time, it sold very well. 100 ml pack, 200 ml, 1 liter pack, even 5 liter cans were sold, and that is in great demand. And that is where people ask that where is your soap? Don't you manufacture soap? But as a Dr. Morpen, we never intended to be a soap company, but getting into antibacterial, anti-infective soap, so we introduced the Bernol soap also. And we already have, I would say, other one category thing. Now, maybe slowly Bernol brand will be able to expand, rather expand much in a much better way.
Okay. Fine. I have one question for Ajay ji. In fact, if I can ask Ajay ji also. In fact, Ajay ji, I wanted to know what is the kind of capital expenditure we have incurred in the last financial year, that is for FY20, and for coming year, what is the kind of plan?
Last year we received around 15 crore. So this year we intend to spend around.
Their voice is low.
So last year we spent around 13 crore. This year
Okay.
planning around 15 plus. So that is from our internal accruals. So and as we are planning for capex expansion, so that will be over a period of 3 years. So that maybe next to next year we will have to sell 40 crore and so on. So that's what we have done for capex side.
No, but in the coming year, Ajay ji, I did not get you. In FY21, what could be the rough routine capex be like? Yeah, expansion to hai raha
15 crore plan.
Okay.
15 to 17 crore.
Okay. And one thing which I observed, Ajay ji, in the quarterly one numbers for FY21 on the consolidated basis is that we have seen, depreciation has come down from 11 crores to 8 crores.
Yeah,
So any specific reason for this?
yeah. We did last capital expansion, major expansion in the year 1998, 99. So those API thing are 20-year life. So as we are moving forward, so this depreciation charge is coming down. So it will over the years. So as we do next year onwards, we do more expansion. So then it will make up some shortfall of that, but it will be year on year downward batch.
So one can safely assume that this 8 crores which we have provided in the first quarter should be the run rate at least for the current year. I mean, at least for the FY21. Afterwards, of course, it could increase because of the capex, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Ajay ji, one more thing which I wanted to know. You all are fortunate, that your company has been paying very less tax. Obviously, I think because of maybe some tax benefits because you all are in Himachal Pradesh. Tell me one thing, what has been the reason for such a low tax rate? We don't find any companies in India which manage to pay low tax and still, manage to get, a very good kind of incremental ROA from their assets. So, how is the, tax planning? Do you have any tax losses, or what is the reason this tax rate is low?
Yeah, in fact, yes, there is tax loss. But it is at least as of today, it is 120 crore plus. So I think this year will be tax free only. Next year, maybe at least for 6 months, we should be tax free. Maybe last quarter we will be tax. At least this year we are into tax. This financial year. Next
Okay,
financial
but going ahead, Ajay ji, what is the tax rate we can expect? That FY22 will be at least be 25% as per the normal tax rate.
no, next year will be rate will be around so 7 to 8% at least next year. So then we have tax, what is 25% something. So
Okay,
will be
fine, fine.
next year would be 7 tax.
Okay. Another thing, Ajay ji, I just have one more question. Then I think Akhilesh can take over. See, basically, we want to know that now last 5 to 10 years has been a very challenging period for the company. Now, shareholders definitely are expecting rewards from you. As you said, fortunately, API market has gone up. You are in the right business and the right position as of now. So, from the management side, Mr. Suri, can we expect some sort of good news in the coming current year? As far as the dividend policy is concerned.
I would say dividend we all want. I'm also a shareholder. I also want dividend, but we have we have some preference shares pending of the banks. I think that is one technical reason. So once there's preference capital is paid off, so only after that we can pay the dividend. Maybe I won't say in the current year. Maybe next fiscal or next fiscal. Maybe it's difficult to say whenever the board takes a call. But
Okay.
yes, we are all waiting for some good news. But once we are through with the technical thing, like Ajay said, some carryover losses and some payment to the preference capital, so we'll be able to answer.
Okay. Ajay ji, one question which I want to ask from the balance sheet side, which I was not able to understand, is that we have a large amount locked up in goodwill and intangible assets, almost 81 crores. So what is it? What is this? Can you throw some light?
Yeah, that's another consideration because the investment what we have made in Dr. Morpan, so we have paid premium of that, right? So that is around 78 crores, out of 81 crores, 78 crores is that amount. So that is a resolution level. So Dr. Morpan capital is around 40 crores, and we have 120, 117 crores. So that majorly 17 crores is that difference. So that is a good
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
So it's
Fine. I
investment
think.
in the subsidiary. It's investment in the subsidiary. Ajay?
Yes, investment is wholly owned subsidiary. Dr. Morgan is a wholly owned subsidiary.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, one question on your sales side. You have a good amount of exports. So can I ask what is the percentage of sales you have in India?
47% is exports. 47% is the growth. So you want
Indian sales and the export breakup.
In API, we have API business we have around 60 to 65% export.
it's
The
becoming good.
broad number of total sales, what is the domestic sales and what is the export?
I could hear you. Say please again.
I'm saying on a broad number, the
Yes, please.
number.
45% is export. 45% is export, and
Okay.
55% is domestic.
So
Overall,
45 export, there's a good number of export you have, your
Yeah.
total sales. So can I know what is the focus geography you have? Maybe probably APAC or it's going to continue or Europe or USA?
I've not been able to catch the question.
My question is, it is a target geography your export market. It is continuing to be APAC or Europe or USA.
I would say that we will go as per the existing market needs only. APEC certainly is contributing now, but ultimately the bigger focus is US always. But US market was not active last quarter, but in general, US market goes to around 30%. And between Europe and US is around 40%, 60% is APAC and other markets. But now between US and Europe, Europe has picked up more. US has come down, but between US and Europe, these are what we call regulated markets. Regulated market is still doing bad, still doing good. So, if you say from a focus perspective, regulated market is a focus.
And I can also assume that you have a better market in the export market rather than in Indian market.
Again, not audible, please.
And I can also assume that you have a better margin in export market.
Can't hear again. Maybe I have to come closer. Can you speak a little louder?
okay, please.
Yeah. I'm saying, can I assume that you have a better margin in export market?
There are better margin in export, and there are much better margin in regulated markets than unorganized market. But for example, during this quarter, because of the shortage, so we have not serviced the so-called low profit orders. And if the supply is short, so we always prefer regulated market customers. And always, naturally, the customers, one is which are high paying and who have specific requirements. We know that this customer cannot get the requirement fulfilled from someone else. So we have to service that. So certainly the price level is higher. So, but overall, there is a positive side that everybody is focusing more and more on quality. The more specific product anybody wants, more specific quality anybody wants, the higher the price.
So, sir, going forward, do you have some kind of thinking that company should be an export-driven company, or I should have at least export or 2-3 sales of domestic sales?
So not audible.
Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, not audible.
Sir, going forward, do you have any reason that company should be an export-driven company, or have some 2/3 contribution from the export side?
Look, Agnesh, from a I would say macro perspective, if we see, so API is major exports. Even current year, API is, if we see, 72% export. So API would go around 70 to 80% export only. domestic would remain as on today. I would say for next 1 or 2 years it will remain focused on domestic only. But maybe diagnostic also has a potential to go for exports, because as we expand our capacities, we can start our export from neighboring countries. Maybe just start with Vietnam and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. But diagnostic can ultimately go to even Middle East, go to Europe also, because depending on our capacities. But OTC and population will remain always local. So I would say it's business to business. API would primarily export 70 to 80%, and diagnostic we are yet to start.
That's all from my side. Avinash, can how other comment on the company, how we will like it?
Yeah. So in fact, my view on the company is that definitely, on the operational side, Morepen has definitely, bounced back very strongly. In fact, we have seen this improvement happen quarter on quarter since the last 12 months. And I think looking at the kind of opportunity in the API market, plus the kind of pricing and the realization benefit, there is no doubt that Morepen should do well. And our sense is that, earnings growth should pick up over the next couple of years. I think what is important is that the stock has actually been beaten down quite badly, and I think hopefully once ROE levels and the return on capital employed levels improve, we could see some sort of further big re-rating on the stock. So I think definitely from a long-term opportunity point of view within the pharma pack, which largely which caters to the API market, this is definitely an opportunity which investors must explore. And I think longer term, I think definitely a good risk reward can come even from the current level. So in fact, I would like to again congratulate Mr. Suri, a very good set of numbers. And I think we hope that, these numbers get better and better ahead, sir.
Thank you. It's all a team effort, I would say. Difficult time, good team. We all made a good combination.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you for taking time.
Thank you.
And, thank you for the special effort to sit comfortably in the COVID time, taking interviews. It's certainly
Okay.
been great. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you.
थैंक यू थैंक यू मिस्टर अजय, थैंक यू अविनाश, का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हम आशा करते हैं कि आपको इस शो के माध्यम से कंपनी के बारे में काफी इंटरेस्टिंग इंसाइट मिली होगी। इसी के साथ अब आपसे विदा लेते हैं और अगली बार फिर से एक नई कंपनी के साथ आपसे फिर मिलेंगे। थैंक यू वेरी मच एवरीवन।